DJI RS 5 is here. But should you upgrade if you already have the DJI RS4, RS4 Pro, or my current favorite travel gimbal, the RS4 Mini right here? Let's talk about it. So the RS5 is special with the new enhanced intelligent tracking module, unlock a bunch of new use case for solo creator like me and Kimchi right here. Working on a tight timeline and a very tight budget. Like literally making this video right now. Okay, Kimchi is pretty heavy and he dig a lot of hole right here. I don't want to fail, so I gotta put him down right now. And this module can actually also trap Kimchi here as well, like Kimchi right here, but right now it's tracking me. So for this video, we are not here to make another generic gimbal review like you saw already on the internet. We'll be focusing on how to build a practical immersive camera array for the RS5. What actually worked with the DJI intelligent tracking, what does not, and what to expect in a real world shooting without the hype or PR talking points.
The heck is this? You're gonna run into that car.
Cinematic camera. Cinematic camera. Cinematic camera. Ah! If you don't know already, RS5 has several major improvements compared to RS4, but weight is not one of them. It's slightly heavier than the base RS4 right here, and definitely heavier than the RS4 Mini. The extra weight mainly comes from this new fine-tuning knobs right here and a stronger motor. Both are very important for solo creators who care about speed. This is actually a great improvement for non-traditional filmmaker like us. Immersive filmmaker running on a compact stereo rig. Until now, the best travel VR 180 camera is still the Canon R5C with the dual fisheye lens. The problem with this setup right here is the constant changing weight, mainly because of the V-mount battery right here. This camera still can't shoot 8K 60 frame reliably without an external power source like a PD-powered V-mount battery. And like most of you, I have a mixture of V-mount batteries in different sizes and from different brands. When a battery runs out, and they run out fast, you have to rebalance the whole gimbal. This is already a cinematic camera build right here, very close to 3 kg payload limit, and it got stuck even with Teflon coating. With the new fine-tuning adjustment knobs, balancing is now much faster and easier for a cage camera with accessory like mine. I originally thought this feature was just a luxury, something that I didn't really need. But now I honestly cannot go back to the RS4 Pro or the RS4 Mini. This is one of those quality of life feature where once you are used to it, you can't unuse it. About the new motor, I don't feel meaningful differences between the RS4 Pro and the RS5. For immersive filmmaking, it's all about control and slow movement. So the new motor alone should not be your reason to upgrade, unless you are doing extreme sports or fast action capture. Even with the improved motor, RS5 does not magically fix poor gimbal technique. You can still see jitter here because at the end of the day, this is just a tool and it still requires skill to operate properly. And for example, walking backward like this is not the right way to do it. The biggest selling point of the RS5, however, is the new RS Enhanced Intelligent Tracking module right here. This gimbal is getting smarter thanks to AI. Let me show you. When you swipe left on the small LED screen, you now get a full image of what the tracking module sees. It auto-detects and tracks humans like the old module, but the accuracy is significantly improved. As you can see here, Kitty is walking away and back toward me, and the gimbal stayed locked on her perfectly. Not saying I would ever do this shot in VR 180, but for 2D, this is really good. I have always felt the intelligent tracking on the RS4 Mini right here was kind of a gimmicky, and I never fully trusted. But on the new RS Enhanced Intelligent Tracking module, it's definitely better and more reliable. Besides human, you can also track animals like Kimchi right here, which is great for wildlife and travel filmmakers. One important call out, Object tracking and animal tracking are only available on the RS5. You can buy the RS Enhanced Intelligent Tracking Module for RS4, RS4 Pro, or even the RS4 Mini right here. But it wouldn't support animal tracking or subject selection. So how's the tracking quality? As you can see right here, I'm losing Kimchi constantly, mainly because he's small. Backtracking also seemed to only work for humans. When Kimchi ran away, the gimbal lost him immediately. When you mix humans and animals in the same scene, the AI will always prioritize human. You can manually select a subject using the dial right here, but in the real-world mixing scenario, it's not very practical. Oh my god, And here, the AI decided to track Kimchi's tail instead of Kimchi or Kitty. The AI can also identify and track cars very easily. Great for car influencer. Now, what if you want to track a random object, like this RS4 gimbal here for a review shot? You can drag a box around the object and it will start tracking. This works on pretty much any object as long as there's enough contrast and you are in decent lighting. That said, object tracking has limitation. If the subject gets blocked, like going behind another object, and then come back, the AI might not lock on the same object again. In this example, the tracker get confused and start tracking the RS4 Pro instead of the RS4. To be fair, I'm kind of tricking the AI here. The RS4 and the RS4 Pro look very similar, but it still shows that object tracking isn't as reliable as human tracking or even animal tracking. Here is another issue. When I switch to a 28 to 40mm zoom lens and move in close, even though the tracking itself is technically working, the camera framing is off. That's because the tracking module using a very wide angle lens, while your camera might be on a much tighter lens. That mismatch becomes a problem really quickly for a close-up shot. So in general, AI tracking work much better for wider shot than a close-up. Understanding these limitations is important if you want predictable results. Another use case that not many creators are talking about is actually self-taping. I can raise my hand like this. Boom. Now AI will grab me and I can walk around. I can knee down. I can stand up. I can walk around the entire environment. And I don't need a camera operator. AI will just track me. To make things, to get a cherry on top, I actually put the DJI RS5 on the iFootage 902 slider. Honestly, any slider, just any slider will give you a constant left and right movement. And then you can put it on top, and then now you have a multi-axis movement with the RS5 and your slider, which is really cool. And even like a traditional operator might be even hard for them to do that. This is that accurate. See, I'm keep checking it. So we can even move things a little bit further. So right now I'm inside Apple Vision Pro. I can't really see anything, to be honest. So I need to reframe. So how to do that is I gotta hold it like that. AI grab it, and now I kind of move out of frame, like on the left side. Let's do it again. Hopefully AI grab it. Okay, so now I am on the left side of the frame right now, right? And then I can keep this framing. I don't need to really see the camera, operate the camera still rolling, and I can keep talking to the camera, but at the same time, the framing is changed. So I can actually see the framing right here from the Apple Vision Pro. So now, see, everything is just like sync together perfectly. I think this is a great value add for like self-tipping content creator YouTuber, because hiring people this day is very, very expensive. This, compared to the price of the RS5, is nothing. So yeah, I think that's a great use case for people like us. Now, for immersive creator, should you use AI tracking at all? As you already know, for VR 180 or spatial video, you should never pan or tilt the camera. That's how you make people motion sick inside a VR headset. The only valid use case for AI tracking in immersive filmmaking is to lock the subject dead center and reduce micro pan during forward and backward movement. So let's test that. We intentionally go through obstacle right here to simulate a real-world checking scenario, and you can clearly see the AI jitters briefly lose the card and then retrack it. That auto correction really killed the shot. AI checking helps with auto framing in 2D, but it's not practical for Immersive 180, where precision matters and the subject must stay perfectly centered without any creative reframing. There's one feature almost every creator makes fun of, but I actually enjoy. It's the Z-axis horizon indicator. The Canon R5C right here has a great horizon indicator, much better than the R5 or R5 Mark II, but it's really hard to look at the Canon screen while filming. I rig my external monitor next to the gimbal mini LED screen. Since most external monitors don't really have a gyro and proper horizontal indicator, I use the DJI RS5 horizontal indicator to judge how smooth my movement is. It's actually more accurate than the camera internal gyro, and it gives me confidence that I don't really have when using the external monitor alone. If you're using a RED camera or other high-end camera with the Canon dual fisheye lens, you don't even have a horizontal indicator, so the new DJI RS5 indicator becomes your only reference, which is great. The last unique feature of the RS5 is the electronic briefcase handle. You never shoot in briefcase mode for VR 180, so it's kind of irrelevant for our industry. For traditional 2D filmmaking though, I also don't think it's as stable as a side handle. Personally, I don't use it, and it's one less thing to remember on set. That said, the handle is surprisingly light compared to small rig, which is great. Another small detail that most reviewers miss is the one-step folding tripod legs right here. Most tripod legs take 3 steps to fully open. The RS5 including a 1-step open leg, and it's included for free. I bought the Falcon version before, and I cannot go back to a regular legs now. This is one of those small quality of life improvement that really adds up. The battery is new too, the BG33. It lasts up to 14 hours and fast charge in about 1 hour. But you do need a 65-watt charger, which is not included in the package. But if you already have one, this is fantastic. I only travel with one BG33 battery now. It generally feels like this thing lasts forever. If you travel, this is a big deal. One important thing to be aware of, your older BG21 battery from the RS4 is not compatible with the DJI RS5 or the RS4 Pro. Both the RS5 and the RS4 Pro require a higher voltage input to support the improved motor and better stabilization. So do not put your old RS4 battery onto the RS5. Unfortunately, you do need the new batteries. This is one of those small but important details that a lot of the launch coverage gloss over. And if you appreciate independent, non-sponsored review like this, where we actually test things and leave no stone unturned, consider subscribing and supporting the channel. It really helps us keep doing this kind of in-depth work. On the topic of travel, RS4 Mini versus RS5. The Mini is lighter and smaller, obviously, but it's actually harder to pack because the battery isn't detachable, and the RS5 is much easier to pack. And for immersive 180 filmmaking, the RS4 Mini still doesn't really have a proper braking solution. I have to use hack like this, which is not ideal. And this is how I rig my Canon VR 180 system on the RS5. I don't use the official plate, instead I use the small rig plate right here, link in description down below. It let me offset the camera outward so the plate stay out of the frame, while still using DJI's official mounting system with full micro adjustment support. Because the RS5 can carry more weight than the RS4 Mini, I can also use a small rig V-mount battery place right here to balance the weight distribution. It has a built-in quick release system, so I never need to rebalance when changing media. I have been using this same setup since the RS2, and it still works perfectly. So yes, I am ditching the RS4 Mini now and going back to the standard RS series. What about the RS5 Pro? There's no RS5 Pro, and honestly, I really don't think DJI need to make one. The RS4 Pro right here is still totally capable. None of this gimbal, by the way, can support my Blackmagic Ursa Cine immersive camera, so I think a Ronin 3 makes more sense than another RS Pro. DJI, if you are listening, we need a industry workhorse for high-end cinema or immersive camera. The creator market is so saturated, we don't need more products for just TikTok. The RS5 is already support 99.9% of the creator out there. What we really need is a Ronin 2 refresh that can handle much heavier rigs. This review is focused on our immersive creator community, but overall, the RS5 is a great hybrid gimbal if you don't already have a DJI gimbal. For immersive filmmaking on Apple Vision Pro, Galaxy XR, or MetaQuest, I don't think you really need to upgrade if you already have the RS4 or the RS4 Pro. I personally will wait for the RS5 Pro or a heavier payload version that is better suited for a larger cinema or immersive camera rig. That said though, if you want to take advantage of AI tracking for self-taping, or you are shooting non-VR traditional video content or social media content, the RS5 is the best. I've tried pretty much everything out there, and right now, really no gimbal can even come close in terms of tracking and usability. So I think this is a great investment. It's just, if you are like me, it's a hybrid creator. I need to create social media content and immersive content. I will dive deeper into practical use case and tutorial on the RS5 next. So if you are new here, consider subscribing, it really helps. I will see you in the next tutorial. Ciao!